Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ATR's War, Bedlam, premier wrestling podcast covering AEW to WWE. I am Sam the SLB, and that is my screen that you guys shouldn't be seeing right there. I'm going to hide that. Hide that. I'm Sam the SLB, fearless leader of Bedlam and co-host of ATR's War, ATR Rising Sun, as well as the host of Uncle Sam's Stats Kaleidoscope. Alongside me today is the man behind X Wrestling's Voice of Reason, Scott.
Oh, my goodness gracious. This is our 5th year. My name is Scott. I am we're going to go with the fun gimmick, the North American Wrestling Champion for Above the Ring. I am 1/3 of ATR's War. I handle everything Twitter-wise or X-wise for Above the Ring. And just started to reflect on 5 years of doing this, Sam. This is insane.
5 years. 5 years. Guys, before we begin, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I cannot get this seat where I want it to be today, but that's okay. I think this levelness is equivalent to my height compared to Scott's. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're on Discord. Discord's in the link below. 5 years. The fact that it took us a couple months ago to realize we were hitting the 5-year mark. We can get technical, and we've told the story before. Technically, I mean, it's like Bedlam Media has been a thing for 7.
True.
The podcast, 2020, pre-COVID. We were ready to go to the moon. There's a lot of things I've done. I've done a lot of different podcasts. A lot of them don't usually last a year. A lot of them don't last 6 months. Scott, this is the one that's probably meant the most. No, don't want to say probably. It has meant the most. Can you believe we've been doing this for 5 years?
I really can't. It's funny. Like you talked about like a couple of months ago, us realizing, oh, wow, it's holy shit. It's going to be 5 years of us doing this. And
but also, I think it's the other realization of like, oh, it's only been 5 years. I feel like we've been doing this forever.
Yes, that is also true.
There's been a lot that's this is going to be more like a lax show. There's not going to be a lot to talk about. We're not going to go into the timing of the recording of this video to when it drops. We're not really going to give a timeline. It's obviously in January. It's going to drop. The day this drops, it is and this messed up the whole schedule, but in a good way. Scott advised me when we were prior to recording this. That is the second glass of old-fashioned talking. That's right, I got blitz for this. I was like, I need to get blitz, guys. I need to get blitz. Scott told me that the way this fell, that our actual 5-year anniversary, or 5 years since our first podcast, falls on a Monday on the 20th. And I was like, damn it, I guess we're going to have to wait a couple of weeks. And I was like, oh, yeah, we'll just continue going when we had to. But everything fell in place for a reason.
Yep.
Before we get going, a couple of things that we are working on that have probably been put in place already. So we are officially verified on X at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We got the blue check mark, guys. We figured at this, we've just been around for a while. We probably should let you guys know, hey, this is us. Yep. This is your Above the Ring. As you can see from the thumbnail, we have a logo, 5-year anniversary logo. It's great. Want to thank the Lipinskis, Christian, obviously John the Statman for making that happen. Much appreciated. Doing our work with the logos for a while now. I want to get an intro video and use a theme song again. Might use the old one. Think it'd be a little fun. The video, I couldn't even imagine what I'd want to put together. Don't want to make it half-ass. Kind of like, I'm just going to have Above the Ring go across the screen several times with like fireworks and whatnot. Not what I'm looking for. But we have some things in the works. Mm-hmm. The X Verified actually is the one I'm excited for the most because we've interacted with people forever. I will say, and we do have a second episode coming out with Ethan, our man, the man in black. He hasn't been here for the full 5 years. But at this point, he's just as important. Yep. But Scott and I needed just like, mommy and dad need to talk.
Yeah, it's not very often that we get to do one-on-one um shows anymore. It's always either you and Ethan or the three of us. And yeah, like this past year has been ridiculous in many ways. So I feel like I need to do more as well. I need to get some more stuff back up and running. Like my interview series that I was doing a couple of years ago, I'd like to bring that back at some point. We were talking about possibly doing some card openings because I've been collecting wrestling packs and like whole decks and stuff for years, and thinking about doing some specials, maybe doing some shorts, some reels. Those are also things we're gonna start doing this year. So you're gonna see a lot more of us. So apologize ahead of time or enjoy the show. It's gonna be fun. Lots of stuff coming.
We're here to
2025
have
can be a good year.
we're here to watch wrestling and have a good time. We're not getting any younger, and we love what we do. Even though sometimes it might feel like might be half-assing it. We do enjoy this. Oh, one of the things I want to do, I'm going to bring it up now, and it depends on how this works out with the whole content thing of WWE. We're aiming for, I think, March or April, where I would like to do a Discord watch with everybody of Takeover Orlando and the significance of that. And I don't know if we brought it up before, but I will say it again. That was actually the weekend that Scott and I met in the very
Mhm.
first wrestling event we had gone to. So we figured that I think that was very important. We wanted to make it like, hey, if we're going to do 5 years, we got to celebrate. This is a big celebration piece.
Yep.
You know. We're also going to have other guests on. We've talked to our, friend Alex, who went to Mania with us last year. You might see the Statman back. Friends of the show, other hosts who we've had on before. So we got that going on. We got that going on. Lots changed. It's just wild. It's just, I think 5 years is not a long time and also a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those it's it's one of those favorite questions from like when you're doing an interview. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, let me tell you what. If you would have asked us that question when we first started this, I don't know what we would have responded with. But back then it was my first time ever doing podcasts, so I was nervous as shit. Sam had done like 1,000 of them, so he was ready to go, and I'm just like, I want to make sure I don't sound stupid. And it took me a little while to get there, but now I'm like, I love this. Like this stuff's so much fun to do.
My favorite thing about, especially doing podcasts with you, Bud, is that like you and I we meld. And that was, I think, a thing that I've done again several podcasts, and I've had other hosts and other people I do mesh with. But you and I, we just talk like it's a Tuesday,
Right?
it's
Yeah.
Tuesday when we record. But it's like, oh, we just chat when it's a Tuesday. We don't talk wrestling, but it's Tuesday,
Yeah.
so we're just gonna have a conversation. And I hope everyone who listens here gets that feeling that we're just chatting, having a good time.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yeah, we I remember when we first started this also, like we wanted to make sure we were different from everybody else because all the other wrestling podcasts, well, not all of them, but a lot of them out there were all negative. They were just saying how much stuff was terrible and blah blah blah. They weren't giving any positive, like, constructive feedback. So we put it upon ourselves when we started doing this to, yeah, we can be, you know, we can criticize what's going on, but we're going to make sure we have a positive spin to it. We're going to make sure we can give some suggestions on what we think would make things better and just not be so, Debbie Downer, because that's how a lot of the IWC has been. And we've had people tell us, you guys are very positive with everything that you guys are saying. So it's working. The message is working. So we're just going to continue on and just keep killing
no,
it.
yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that people need to remember is that our ATR is war mantra that we've been going with, and I love the title. I don't ever see us get rid of that. Um, it's more of a fight against the IWC
Correct.
than anything. And yes, we are a little more aggressive with our critiques sometimes with like AEW and WWE. But I think what we've done differently is like this is instead of we've definitely tried to avoid this as garbage.
Right.
We've again constructive has been my theme.
Mhm.
You know, somebody told me a long time ago, well, what would you do better? It doesn't have to be anything. You can talk about wrestling or video games or a movie. What would you do better? And if you can criticize something and then come back with I don't know, not this, that's not an answer. You don't have an answer.
Right.
You're not given a solution. So I think that's always been something when we've challenged ourselves. And again, maybe our answers aren't great. I personally think we have some pretty solid responses. But I'm a little biased. I don't know. I'm on the show.
But I mean, it's true though. I mean, it's just like nothing I hate more is that when I see people commenting on either our stuff or other people's things, they're like, "Oh, this shit sucks." Okay, what would you change it? I don't know. It's just terrible. That doesn't help the cause. Like, come up with an answer. Like, use your brain, critical thinking. We need more of that in this world, anyways. Just think about it. Like, what would you personally do if you were in charge for like this segment or the whole show? Like, what would you do different? What would you make? You know, just how would you better connect it with the crowd if it's not resonating with you and you see other people who are also like, this is not really resonating? What would you do to change it? How would you make it better? That's always what we've tried to do. We try to give our best thoughts. I mean, we have a combined wrestling knowledge of what, 40, 50 years at this point between the two of us.
Something like that. And
Yeah.
Ethan, forget about it. Like international knowledge of like 70.
I thought I watched a lot of wrestling. This poor child, I don't know how he does it still to this day, watches everything under the sun. And he just got a brand new monitor for Christmas, and it's a large, beautiful monitor. He sent a picture to us in our group chat. I'm like, this. I said to myself when I saw the picture, I was like, this man is in his glory now. He can just sit back and watch like all 18 like different federations that he wants to watch now.
I was gonna say, you know what he's gonna do? I imagine him. You've obviously seen Grandpa's Boy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, where he's like sitting back like this, and he has like the 30 monitors. That's what Ethan's gonna be like watching wrestling. He's just
pretty
like,
much. Yep, a different federation on each channel, on each TV, each screen.
And it's wild. And I'm not calling him out, but it was he used to have a job where he worked from home, and now he doesn't, which is insane because now he drives. I think he does delivery work.
Yep.
And he still, what am I trying to say here?
He still finds time to watch all the shows.
He has all this time. And I don't understand how he does it.
He doesn't sleep. I swear to God.
I'm dumbfounded. Good for him. I love every time we talk.
Yeah.
I was recording with him prior, and there was something I asked him I wanted to watch. He goes, "Oh, you check this out." I'm like, I'm gonna try to. I'm like, damn it, just committed myself to something else, just like Lucha Underground. Something else that. I'm gonna drop that in there for you.
Yes, long-standing running joke for those of you who have been with us for these 5 years. Also, with Sam talking about having multiple drinks, there's been a few blitzed episodes out there too. If you go find them through our catalog,
You're gonna laugh. I should make a Blitz playlist on YouTube.
Yes,
the Blitzed.
Oh my God, ATR is blitzed.
So quickly, I'm gonna like sideswipe here for a minute. So what I'm looking for all the pay-per-views that were going on from each promotion.
Yep.
When we first started. And I didn't realize this, or maybe I didn't pay attention, that the pay-per-view that got canceled in March for or at least an Impact Plus event in March of 2020 was called Lockdown.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, anyways, yeah, March 2020, January 2020, man. I'm literally just pulling everything up right now.
I
March
think our first episode was talking about the Rumble, I believe.
Yeah, we have to go back. We'll be one of those podcasts. We're gonna rewatch one of our episodes and react to it.
Oh my God, I don't want to do that.
And then in 5 years, we're gonna react to the episode of us reacting to the first episode.
We have to do it Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, though. Gonna get our little heads, put us on the little bottom of the corner.
Oh my gosh. If we could do that. If we could do that. So I'm going to go through this quickly. 2025 is a totally different year. Like if you told us in 2025, in 2020, where we'd be in 2025, I think our heads would explode.
Yeah.
I mean, let's start with Drew McIntyre won the Elimination Chamber. Wait a minute. No, he won. I misread that. Won the Royal Rumble in 2020, January. Revolution 2020 happened, and if I'm not mistaken, was this the one? No, this was Moxley defeated Jericho for the title.
Yep.
Bash at the Brewery happened for Impact, which was they don't really have a title match here. I think it was Ohio versus Everything, taking on a bunch of different people. All right.
VE, my goodness.
And then for Ring of Honor, it was February 29th. Three-way title match, Roosh, PCO, and Mark Haskins for their title. Man, now we're in a world where Cody Rhodes is WWE World Champion.
Yep. Unless you're Kevin Owens, you think that you're, the rightful WWE champion. Going ahead for their ladder match at the Rumble on the 1st of February. That's going to be, there's going to be some shenanigans, so it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But also, going back to 2020, we were also supposed to go to Tampa for WrestleMania that year.
Mm-hmm. Now, two things have happened since then. First of all, we did go to 40.
That is correct.
Which is great. And Alex, we love you. I'm going to send this to you when we drop this. We had a great time. It was not to get his, there was some personal things going on, between him having his first kid and then his, father passing prior to that. Yep. It was a very, very big deal. And we were like, this is I think, and he even said, he goes, I think my father will want me to go.
Yep. So
he came with us for both nights and we just had we had a blast. And I'd love to do that again. He's on our list. He's on our list of
absolutely.
The second of all, the other thing that happened was I did end up in Tampa, not for Mania.
Yeah, that's right. My brother moved out of New England, away from the snow, away from Rhode Island, and down into Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, the Tampa one, it's funny. I have the jersey, and it's one of those things I look at, and I'm like, man, I go that.
Yep. So we were all supposed to show up at Andrew's house and just have a whole week of just absolute shenanigans, and then go to Mania, and then and then everything happened, and it was like, damn.
One of the things I think, just COVID was one. There's a couple of things here that I think it was the first year was a roller coaster. Yes. Okay, so to clarify, so 2018 is going on. We're gonna go back to 2018 when Scott and I'm gonna line this up. 2017, Scott and I meet. Yep. We meet. I go to WrestleMania 33. He's there, ironically, for a business meeting. We go to take over Orlando. We meet. I start to watch wrestling religiously, and at that point, it actually was like it was fun, but it was kind of like doing. It was like this. But then there was a big crash behind me, where as I'm starting to falter, everyone's like, did you hear about that big match that happened over in Japan? When ESPN is covering stuff that's going on outside of the country,
right?
You're like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
And obviously we got Omega Okada,
yep.
Just the big bang, if you will, of professional. I don't want to say the big bang outside of WWE. And outside of that, I remember that fall. I was on Instagram. I was just telling Ethan this. I was on Instagram, and I remember seeing Jericho showing up on the Titantron over in Japan, announcing their match at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep. The Alpha versus the Omega.
So you have this whole roller coaster now, and we're obviously 2018 goes through and All In happens, and then immediately January 1st, AEW is announced in 2019. And then we're like, dude, we're gonna have a new promotion, and it was kind of like up in the air. And then they're like, no, we got prime time. And now again, it's not like, oh, this isn't just another promotion. No, we're going head to head in the words of the Monday Night Wars. And obviously, Scott and I, we hadn't really podcasted, and I think 2020 we're in the midst of the Wednesday Night Wars. I think AEW is a big part of this. I want to clarify. Not that WWE was not, because I think had we stuck with WWE and like the occasional Impact show, there was something about it at that time. I don't think it would have worked. I think it would have been like, oh yeah, we're talking about WWE, and it would have been like, yeah, we could talk about this. But I think being there when everything was happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it definitely helped drive our wanting to do the podcast, and it gave us things to talk about that were outside of back when we first started. I also started doing like the Raw review and the NXT narrative, the SmackDown study, to cover cover the WWE shows, and then Sam and I would do a show that would talk about Dynamite. And then once Rampage came around, we started doing stuff with that too, and then we shifted gears and started doing like what would we call it? Power Slam, when we started covering the whole week's worth of shows instead of doing the individual shows. And it's just like it kept giving us things to do, and it really helped. But at that time we weren't really doing YouTube, we were just doing podcasts. And then we started branching out, and that's just like,
I think one of my favorite things though during that time, during the Wednesday Night Wars, again, it wasn't anything like Monday night. It was a little different. Times are different.
Mhm.
And obviously time is, even 5 years ago, I mean, we're streaming now.
Right.
I watched Dynamite. I've been watching Dynamite on Max, and I'm like, man, I'm watching. I don't even get freaking cable anymore. But one of my favorite things to do was be like, I gotta watch NXT first. You watch Dynamite, and then I'd be like, oh my god, Dynamite! This happened. He goes, I heard. I can't wait to watch NXT. And then like we would like watch each show live, and then we'd switch. And then like 10 to 12, I'm watching NXT. 10 to 12, you're watching Dynamite. And there was some real excitement.
Yeah.
I think it was a really big bonding moment.
Yeah. And of course, we're both live tweeting both shows, so we're getting spoiled for both shows as we're going. So we know what's coming, but we can't wait to watch it anyways because it's exciting. And so yeah, it was like it was so much fun.
And I think again, going back to the roller coaster. So like obviously 2019, you're just going up because you don't know what's going to happen. Obviously Double or Nothing. I want to go back and watch the original Double or Nothing because I'll never forget watching it live, and all of a sudden like end of the match happens, and then John Moxley comes out, and you're like, wait a minute, WWE's like biggest star.
Yep.
2019, Roman Reigns, John Moxley, Dean Ambrose was arguably one of the biggest stars in WWE, and all of a sudden he's going to show up on this rival promotion.
Right.
Like I think people,
the first big jump.
And yes, we can talk about the quality of the content. That's a conversation for another day.
Right.
But at the time, that was massive.
Yes, it was.
That was insane. I still get chills going now. So you got all this stuff going on, and then COVID happens, and then everything goes down. And despite the cons having all this money, you're just like, is this company even going to survive with everything going on? And at that point, like, are we going to even have? I don't even know if I'm going to do something I don't usually do. I'm going to go to our YouTube. We weren't on YouTube. Where the hell are our shows? We'd have to look. I don't know if we've stopped. Did we stop or did we keep going? I think we kept going through most of that.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, we weren't doing anything else. What the hell are we going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
So it was like a roller coaster for a while. And once 2021 happened, where, 2021, 22, we're here. And that's within 5 years. Let me clarify. That's within 5 years. I'm just thinking about it. Like, again, that feels so long ago, but it also wasn't that long ago.
Nope. I know. Now you got me thinking, like, where are we going to be in 5 years from now, Sam? It'll be 2030. And shit. I don't know. We're pushing hard for, on YouTube. Like we're on what is it now? Spotify for creators. So now we're back on the podcast thing. So we're everywhere again. So we're pushing. So who knows where we'll go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Having a blast. Having a blast. It's not gonna stop. Well, man. Sorry, it's. I know we're kind of reminiscing. I'm trying to think if we've done. It's funny. I think we haven't done every show together. We've done quite a few.
Yeah.
We've gone together.
Yep.
Obviously Takeover Orlando, we went to Axis then.
Yep.
You and I had gone to Death Before Dishonor.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been the second one. Then you and I went to Chaotic.
Yep.
So that was a fun little one. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Chaotic's always a good time.
Mania.
Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing. Why am I missing? That was one of the best trips we've ever had. Not that third wasn't, but being in Vegas.
The funny thing is, in 5 years, I might be in Vegas by then. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen in 5 years?
Scott, you got a place? Let me know. I'm gonna make some visits.
Absolutely. And we can record together because in 5 years, I think we've done 4 shows in the same room. I think out of the 300 plus that we have, I think we've only done 4 together in the same room.
Yeah.
Which is wild in its own right.
And I don't think we even did one within the first year.
The first one we did is when I came to Rhode Island and we watched Slammiversary. And then
that was 21, wasn't it?
It was the winter, or not the winter, but it was the summer before you moved.
Yeah, that was 21.
Yeah. That was the first time. So yeah, it was a full year.
Yeah.
Yep. Because we did an episode of just an ATR, and then we did the other series that you had.
Open Frequency.
Yep.
Yeah. I forgot about that. I used to love doing those. Just chatting with people.
Yep.
I just like having a good conversation. Everyone's like, well, you need to have some kind of structure. And I go, I just want to talk.
Yep.
I just like having a good conversation. I was telling somebody else this. Where when I hang out with people, I like to hang out with people. I'm not going to have Scott come down and like, hey, yo, we should hop on, Scott, come over. We're going to, I don't know, play NBA or like NFL for like 3 hours. No, right. I want to like, me. I'm a cigar guy. So like to have a cigar. I know you don't smoke, but have a cigar, have a glass of whiskey around the fire, have a conversation, just enjoy ourselves.
Yep.
I like that. So that was my premise with Open Frequency. And I do it I don't really do it with the other one, but the other one's been on and off. It's a little difficult. I need to make a content schedule for that. But we're not here to talk about that. We're absolutely not here to talk about that. Hold on. Was it Kenny Omega taking on Sami Callihan for the Impact title? For Slammiversary that year?
That's a good question.
Because we also watched the Hell in a Cell.
That's what it was. Yes, I couldn't remember the WWE pay-per-view. I think that was also the one after the big release of WWE Superstars. And that show was right after the 90-day. We're all excited to see who would show up. And there was like 5 people that ended up showing up. I think EY was probably the big one. I don't know. Maybe that was the year after. I don't know. Everything just melds together.
I moved in 22. This is the thing. I moved in 22. I was out of the house by 22. Were you down here during COVID?
No, I haven't been down there yet. I just haven't had the time to escape.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out, because I'm looking here. Hell in a Cell was Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre in the main event.
Okay.
I really am like drawing this blank because I'm like, I don't remember. I want to say it was 21.
No, that does make sense.
I'd have to go back and look. I'll have to look. All right. Yeah, 5 years. Where would we see ourselves in 5 years? Well, more numbers would be nice.
That would be
Any
nice.
podcast would.
Of course, yeah.
Um,
Hopefully, in 5 years, we have more people on too, so we can have different points of view, different. Maybe take some of the weight off of Ethan's shoulders, so he doesn't have to report on everything. He
You know
can
what my
watch
problem
everything he wants, but
you know what the problem is? Well, we're gonna find somebody who like covers Mexico the same way that like Ethan
Ethan
covers
covers
Japan.
in Japan. Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
oh man, we need like an equal. Yeah, if you guys we're putting feelers out there. If anyone wants to join the ATR family, we're looking to expand. We're always looking to expand. We want people who love it more than we do. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but I think people who are very passionate want to talk about it.
Yep.
Obviously, Scott and I won't be on every show. But anyone who's interested in coming on or starting a show under us, make it happen.
Yep.
We can make it happen. Just expand the brand, be able to talk about different things, have different interviews and whatnot.
Yep.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think it'd be cool. Yeah. More people. Hopefully, it would be nice to do more shows in person. There's people like, I can fly up for the weekend and just record a handful of shows. Or
Right.
Ethan, you can fly into the States for the weekend and a handful of shows.
Sure.
What I'd like to do, and I wish we could do this, is if we got all three of us together like once a year and just did like a Bedlam fest.
Right. That'd be fun.
Or like a wrestling podcast like gathering. Like if we got Tino and we got the guys from Know the Ropes and there's a couple others I can't think of. Imagine if we got like a bunch of these guys go, hey, what if we got together and did like a big wrestling like a podcast gathering?
Yep.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
It would be. That was another highlight too. Being able to meet Sam from Know the Ropes at WrestleMania 2. We have the photo with all three of us. It was just like, didn't think this thing would ever happen. And it was just, yeah. It's good time.
We didn't think the podcast would happen and that happened. And then it's like, well, what if we met at Mania? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man. Maybe we can go to another Mania. We'll get Ethan down here.
There we go.
Tokyo Dome. Tokyo Dome's like the big one. I keep talking about it. 5
years. In 5 years, by the time we talk about in 2030, we would have had to have gone to Tokyo Dome by then.
We're going to make that happen.
5-year plan.
Care how we do it. I don't care how we do it. We're going to Tokyo. I'll drag the missus along. I'll drop her off at Tokyo Disney. He's like, here you go, have fun.
Oh yeah.
Like, how'd I get into Japan? I go, don't worry about it. Oh man. Yeah, man. 5 years. I know I just keep repeating myself at this point. It's been 30 minutes of me just going 5 years, man. 5 years. It's almost like a mixture of like Booker T and like Jim Morrison. Be like, 5 years, man. 5 years. Yeah, man. 5. 5 years.
You have to go. You got to throw old school Big E in there as well. 3 ain't enough. He need 5.
But also, I want to go back to, and we're going to talk about this on our next. We have a second anniversary show planned. It's going to be with the three of us, and I think it'll be a blast. Be a little more information. We're going to have Ethan, who is, I don't know if I've said this, probably have, but I'll repeat it. Ethan is the official Bedlam Media Above the Ring wrestling match ranker. Our ranking system goes, we call it the Ethan scale. So he'll give us top 10 for 2024. We have a couple other things planned. But then we're going to talk about probably numbers and whatnot with streaming. So at the time of the recording here, Dynamite has happened on Max.
Mm-hmm.
Raw has not. I'm super excited. If I'm going to be transparent, I fell off the Dynamite train a little bit because of I didn't want to pay for Hulu TV anymore. No, didn't want to
Understandable.
pay. But now it's on Max, and I'm like, it's just easy to get it that way.
Yep.
So I watched it, and I'll tease a little bit. I'm teasing, but you guys have watched it at this point. It's been a few weeks. You know what? I thought it was great. They actually let you log in like 5 minutes before, and it went over time.
Nice.
I don't know if they cut for time when they were live, but it was like I think 10:10 by the time the show ended.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, they still do an overrun on television. I actually just watched an episode. I've fallen behind too, a little bit with Dynamite and TNA. So I watched an episode right before we got on here, and it went late. So that's good. I'm glad they're still doing the overrun. I'm interested to see with, I know, Raw being on Netflix now as of the 6th. I'm assuming they'll probably do their overrun as well. Possibly. I don't know. I don't remember if they're going to 3 hours on this first show or not. But we'll find out.
Yeah. The biggest concern I have, and we will obviously talk about it with WWE, with the solid product they have, is that 2 of their 3 shows are going to be 3 hours piece.
Yep. 8 hours of WWE product every single week outside of the pay-per-views, or premium live events.
I fucking can't stand that.
I know.
I'm going to call them pay-per-views. I don't care if they're streaming events or Max Plus events or Netflix exclusives. They're pay-per-views. It's the same reason why we say Google something. Yep. I don't use Google sometimes. And guess what? I Google it.
Yep.
Pay-per-view should be put in the dictionary as like the official term is something that you pay to view.
Yep.
Pay-per-view.
Yep.
Yeah, we got some solid shows coming up. We got WrestleMania 41, which is going to be in Vegas on Easter.
Yep. Yeah, WrestleMania Sunday on Easter this year. I have to think about that. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Are you going back home for Easter?
No, my folks come up here for Easter, but I mean, they're normally back to their hotel by the time the shows will start. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh, they said okay.
Yeah, my apartment's way too small to have people sleeping here.
All right.
This is a one-man band apartment.
Yeah. Because I was going to go up to Rhode Island for Easter because I had something else that was going on. I'm like, I can't sacrifice the biggest weekend of the year. Sorry.
There's so much going on. I mean,
podcast is bigger than family, thicker than family.
I got to work. Sorry. Yeah, because if they continue to do what they normally do, Stand and Deliver will be WrestleMania Saturday in the morning. And then night 1, and then night 2, and all the other shows that are happening that week and the week after, because it's always, I'm very interested to see the Raw After Mania on Netflix. If they're gonna pull out any other major stops. I mean, who knows? I mean, Raw After Mania is normally really good. When we went last year, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. But I'm also curious, what I was getting at here is with the streaming now, and I was trying to find it before the show, like the streaming numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of curious. I'm not going to sit here and go, well, it's a streaming war now. Part of the reason, and I know I'm not the only person, and this goes the same thing with Raw, I think. Due to streaming and being able to DVR things, you don't have to watch anything live anymore.
Right.
So I'm curious the numbers of AEW now that are streaming compared to like watching it, streaming it live, watching it live, then watching it after the show. I think that's data that's important aside from, the Nielsen ratings tells you.
Yeah.
That's great and all, but like that's almost outdated with the age of streaming.
Yeah. Times have changed.
Let me see while I'll do a live look right now. Let's see. AEW Dynamite views. Oh, wait a minute. Why did I just go to AEW Nielsen ratings? Because then I might be able to get some weaseled out numbers.
Yeah, they should be out by now. They normally are the next day.
Huh. Yeah, not seeing it.
Interesting.
Oh wait, hold on. I am looking.
But no, as Sam looks, it's very true. It's very interesting also to think about that when it comes to streaming. How again, just shifting from even 5 years ago, how things were back then. You know, everybody had DVRs or TiVos or whatever they were using for their shows. Um, People were starting cutting the cord, and people moving to the streaming services, and how the streaming services, their prices have all started to skyrocket. So now if you have them all together, they cost the same, if not more than cable now, which I think was the grand scheme back then anyways. But yeah, it's crazy just to think about how much things have changed in 5 years, and like where things will go from 5 years from now. Because I know, like with Raw, I mean, going to Netflix, you have SmackDown that just moved over to the USA Network from Fox. They've now moved to 3 hours. You had NXT, which moved from USA to the CW. They're still doing their 2 hour thing, but I don't remember exactly how long their contracts were, but how long before they both moved to Netflix, and everything's on Netflix. Part of me thinks that might be a good thing to keep everything in one under one house, especially with streaming, because Netflix reaches, what was it, 280 million people worldwide, if I remember correctly, if not more.
Something like that.
So yeah, so I mean, they have plenty of reach. It's a lot more reach than USA Network has in the United States. So it gives more eyes on the product. I also love the fact that all wrestling will be live on Netflix for the rest of the world, whenever things are being recorded. So if there's a Raw happening in Germany, it's live, and it'll be live here in the US on Netflix. So we can watch it afterwards, or we can wait until it plays on for the other stuff, for SmackDown and for um NXT. They'll still be on their normal traditional cable shows, but Raw will tape and play whenever the show is happening, which I think is really cool, because I feel bad for our friends over in the UK and over in Europe and Asia who have to watch the shows at like 1 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. It's just like, my God, that's rough. So now they get to watch it at their local time, and that's really cool.
So I can't find this number. All I know is the last one prior, from the week prior, before it was simulcast, was 574,000. So I know that's a low number, and you can. I would like to see that number up against what it did throughout the whole night, because I know it's a low number. However, I want to keep in mind, without getting into the logistics of this, I know for a fact that like certain like CNN, MSNBC, ABC primetime shows are like doing under 100,000 and are still on the air. So it's
Cable's pretty rough right now.
yeah, cable's rough. News is rough because you don't really need the news, and not to get into it, but you don't really need to like watch news when you have the social media's posts and stuff. The same news sites have articles you can find.
Yep.
The information's at your fingertips. You don't need to be sitting there watching TV live anymore. But if you're still pulling in almost 600,000, I would assume that's impressive, but I'd have to see that. What was the week before that? 25th? Of course it was the 25th. Yeah.
That makes sense why it was so low.
Hold on. Let's see something. Hold on. Oh, you know what? You're right. Where's the AEW? Hold on. Now you got me thinking things that I didn't think before. That's a sentence. That just happened. Okay. Nielsen ratings. Let's see. 1225. Yeah, I'm just going to do this live, guys, because 2024. Scott, have you done the thing already where you're like putting in 2024 and it's like, that don't look right? And like, oh, wait, that's 25. Got it.
I wrote my when I did my rent check, I remembered to do 25, and I was like, "Oh, I'm proud of myself," because I always screw up that first time, but I didn't. So I'm clearly ready to put 2024 behind me.
Yeah, nope. I did that a couple times at work when I'm like 2024. I'm like, that don't look right. And I thought about it. I'm like, that's why that don't look right. All right. Where's the final date? Can I? Oh my gosh, so many different numbers. Just give me Christmas. Nielsen numbers. And then the week before that. The 18th. All right, folks. And we'll get back to what we were talking about. 574 on the 18th. We had 625. But, and this is the nerd in me, what if we went to the week before that? Just to make sure we're not doing a decline. Well, you need to decline. You be going down the tubes, aren't you? Like it. Let me say something. You know what? The IWC, we're gonna have a let's mom and dad are here. We're gonna have a chat. You know, wrestling, it's 594, so it's kind of like fluctuating. All right, yeah. 594, 586. So it was kind of going on the up. Then Christmas happened.
Yep.
So I'd be curious to see 536. All right. So, guys, enjoy what you like. Just enjoy it. Enjoy whatever product you want. Watch them both. Watch neither of them. I'd prefer you watch neither of them if you're gonna shit talk
the whole time.
God, just say. I won't. I've actually started unfollowing. I'm gonna be blunt. I've started unfollowing a lot of Facebook groups where it's like, well, they want AEW marks, WWE marks. Like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm over it, bro. I'm in my 30s, dude. Just watch it and shut up. That's my father used to say. Watch it or shut up. You know, we're adults watching wrestling. You know, it's not like it was a product that was, yes, it was for the masses. And then when we were younger, well, sorry, Scott, but when Scott was younger, it was more for children. That had grown into, it's kind of like comic books. You know, comic books were once made for children, and then they were written by adults who grew up reading comic books.
Yep. Yeah, I'm in that sweet spot of where I was at the right age when the Attitude Era happened, so I remember it fondly. And then trying to follow everything from then, yeah, we have our moments where it's just like, I remember when it was when it was good back then. But if you go back and really dissect the Attitude Era, there was a lot that really sucked. You just had those really hot angles that were really kind of driving the show, and the rest of it was kind of just like, hey, we're just happy to be here.
Well, you bring that up. Let me ask you though, like, let's go to WrestleMania 14. The Stone Cold era has begun in Boston.
Yep.
Outside of the main event and then Kane and Undertaker, what match do you remember from that Mania?
Nothing.
Junk. Well, I mean, I have to go back and watch it, but it was probably junk.
Wasn't as high quality as the other stuff.
It got better. You want to talk about one of the best, some of the best Manias, what, maybe 2000?
Yep.
17?
Yep. Even 18.
18? 15, you had The Rock and Stone Cold.
Was it 15? Was 15 the first one?
I believe so, because it went 14, 15, 2000, X7.
The last one was the last one 17? I thought it was 19.
It might have been 19.
Because 19 was when Rock finally beat Austin.
Hold on. But regardless, I was just kind of like,
Right. I believe it was. I don't know. I could be wrong.
that's also something we want to go back. I think we talked about going back and rewatching the Attitude Era Manias together.
Yep.
With Andrew and being like, okay, we're gonna revisit these. And yeah, there's so much you could sit there and watch Raw, and you can watch SmackDown, and you can watch all the pay-per-views. But I think going back watching the Manias, probably a good highlight of what was going on during that time.
Yep.
Sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying something when I cut in
No,
there.
that's fine. No, I mean that's essentially where I'm kind of was heading. Is that going over those older manias would be a lot of fun. Actually, I just went back and watched what was it? Oh my god, I forgot what it was. I saw a promo and I'm like, oh my god, that was such a good thing going into that match. And then I went back and I sat down and I watched the entire WrestleMania. Oh my god.
You were just telling us about it too. What the
I
hell?
know, and I completely forgot which one I just watched. That's where my brain is right now.
Was it a recent one?
No, not super recent. It was one of the 20s. 20 it was 21. It was when they
21. No, it was the
when they
movies. It was the movie
it was-
trailers.
yeah, the trailers. That's what it was. I sent everybody. I sent you guys the trailers. I'm like, these things still hold up, and I'm like, wait a minute, I want to go back and I'm going to watch that old Mania. That was a Fire Mania too. That actually might be one of the best ones that they ever had, to be honest. But yeah, it's
And that's something I think you need to go back and think about is like, because even when I watch countdowns, there was definitely a period of time when I didn't watch wrestling, but there's countdowns that have a lot of manias from like post 20 that are on those lists.
Yep.
Yeah, we should do Mania. We do Rumbles, but it'd only have to be the Rumble because I feel like if we started going and watching every single Rumble pay-per-view start to finish,
that would be a while. Yeah. But just watching like the actual Rumbles themselves would be a lot of fun. Things to do in 2025 and beyond.
with the time we don't have.
Exactly.
Something more plausible I wanted to do, I thought it'd be fun, is to go back and watch. And it's going to be difficult now with the whole change. Is watching like all the Nitros.
Yeah. I don't even know if those are on Netflix at this point because WWE Network is officially gone. It's officially closed down for the rest of the world. And I think we could still watch it on Peacock in the US, but I don't know if Netflix has, because they only were bringing certain things over. They weren't bringing the whole catalog, which is depressing in a certain right, but it is what it is, I guess.
It's a, oh my gosh, just having it at your fingertips. This is the problem with streaming, and I know we've talked about this before. It's a lot of this junk, a lot of this like, oh, we're going to put this on here.
Yep.
But you got 6 months to watch it.
Yep.
And you don't, and again, I'm talking movies, but if you're talking about wrestling content, you're not going to have a long time to watch it. I know everyone makes fun of me. Ha ha ha. Sam buys stuff. He buys video games and he buys physical copies of stuff and it takes up space. But you know what? You're going to be crawling to me when the streaming services have you by the balls. Yeah, guess who has all of his movies hard copy? That's what I thought. Laughing at me now. They're gonna be laughing at me in 5 years when I'm the physical master.
Too many things we can say to that right now, Sam.
Yeah. Well,
that being said,
I don't know. I don't really, man. Like I said, 5 years. We'll be here in 5 years. We're not going far.
Nope.
Unless it hits the fan, and that's a conversation for another show, another day.
Not us hitting the fan. The world hitting the fan.
The world hitting the fan. At that point, maybe cockroaches come over and take over. And
maybe
talk about it. Talk about Above the Ring and why we were so good at our show. But outside of that, yeah, we got some fun things planned. It's been a ride, Scott. The ride's not over though.
Nope. It's only just begun, even though it's been a while.
Been a while.
I had to. I'm sorry.
You think we get that into our budget?
Right? Oh my god, how much money would I have to pay them?
Stained. I'll send an email like I'm a 5-year-old.
Nice.
Dear Stained, I am Sam. I really like your song. It's been a while. I would like to use it for my show. P.S. I really, really like you guys. So does my mom, who sings you in front of the mirror when she goes on every date.
Like, where we go with this, Sam?
That's the booze talking. But
We've reached that portion of the show, folks.
we have. Well, Scott, we're running short on time. I love doing this with you, man. We don't get too sentimental, but I love doing this. I hate when we go on these hiatuses. We need to not do that too much.
I agree, 100%.
Well, do you have anything else, or are we ready to sign off from this first episode?
I think we're good. I think we've covered quite a bit, even though we didn't have anything planned to go into the show. And we still talked for an hour because that's what happens when we get together.
That's what we do. That's our thing, Scott.
Yep.
That is our
For those of you, again, following us for a long time, that is a long running joke. Woo. All right.
Yep.
I see what you did there, sir, and I appreciate it.
Well, that's what I appreciate about you. All right, Scott, before you sign off, why don't you tell people where they can find you?
They can find me pretty much everywhere. Scotty J Stream. Again, I am also the North American representative, champion, whatever the hell you want to call me, for Above the Ring on X. Again, 1/3 of ATR's War, your inaugural and, as of right now, current Bedlam Media Heavyweight Champion. It's been a good ride. Having a blast doing this. I also would be remiss to say, or to not to mention, a thank you out to Ship It Studios for bringing us in for about a year and a half. It was a good time. We enjoyed all the stuff we did with them. They were an absolute blast to get to know. But yeah, Bedlam's on their own again. We're doing our thing. ATR is running. We have lots of stuff in store for 2025 and beyond. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you can find me as the SOB official on X. You can find me. Well, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook. Probably won't add you kind of personal on that. Maybe Instagram. But you can find me on there. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube. We're over 100 subscribers. Why don't we hit 200 by the end of the year? I don't know. It's a little ask. Not asking for much. Yeah, YouTube. Oh, Discord. That was it. Don't forget to follow us on Discord as well. We are on almost all streaming platforms. If there's one you cannot find us on, please listen. We will put ourselves on there. Don't forget to share, leave a comment, subscribe, tell people why Above the Ring and Bedlam Media is the podcast of their choosing, and why you're choosing, and why they should listen to us as well. Guys, we're running out of time. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being with us for the past 5 years. And as always, do not forget to join the Bedlam.